Hey, welcome back to The Ray Show. I am John Bam Ransom, co-hosting with Ray Lucia. We're going to have Ray do a email segment coming up right after this. In the meantime, just want to remind you, if you have questions for the great man himself, you can go to raylucia.com. That's raylucia.com. Hit the Ask Ray link at the top of the page. Send in your money questions. Of course, he loves to answer those questions, and he always brings kind of a unique slant to it. Man, I've been doing this for a long time, and there is no guy who is smarter about money issues than Ray Lucia is. And I got to be honest with you, very impressive guy. He kind of single-handedly built this idea of finance talk radio. Other people have tried it. Few have been able to imitate the kind of success that Ray has had, and he's done it because he really cares about your money. And it's obvious when you send in the questions. So go ahead and go to raylucia.com. That's raylucia.com. Hit the Ask Ray link. Try to stump him. Bring it on. Bring your best game, as you always do. We have some of the smartest watchers on TV, some of the smartest listeners on the radio. Love to have you guys as participants in the show. It's the best part of the show. Again, that's raylucia.com, raylucia.com. Now, we had Steve Aladort here talking a little bit about interest rates and why we're rooting a little bit for a rate increase. I mean, it's not necessarily that we would just want a rate increase to happen, but you know, we've talked a lot on the show about some of the really deleterious effects of a low interest rate environment, meaning that you guys out there who are living on fixed incomes have had to stretch a little bit when it comes to yield. You've had to do maybe some things perhaps that you're not as comfortable with, maybe keep more of your money in the market exposed to equities for a longer period of time. And of course, just really at the worst possible time that you could do that too in terms of comfort. I'm not saying it necessarily worst possible time historically in terms of what the market action is going to be, but it's been very difficult when it comes to having, you know, kind of a comfortable retirement to have to take that extra risk, and that's basically what you've had to do. So always want to keep that in mind when it comes to interest rates. Going up is not a terrible thing, even though it might affect your mortgage. Hey, always happy to have Always Best Care here. David Robinson, owner-operator from the greater Boston area, is joining us now. Hey, David, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing really good. Let me cut right to the chase, because I think this is a question that I think really is on people's mind. Why did you pick Always Best Care? I mean, what were the advantages that you saw as a business operator with Always Best Care?
Pretty simple. It matched up with my background.
Mm-hmm.
My previous career, I had 20 years in the staffing industry, owned several recruiting firms, and I also had a stint in commercial real estate. And when you put my experiences together, I think it was a great match for senior care, and I chose Always Best Care because I liked, you know, they were on the smaller side compared to some of the larger,
sure,
more established franchises, and it's just been a great match. I've been with them now going on my 6th year. Again,
the website is alwaysbestcare.com, alwaysbestcare, 855-470-CARE. And you know, David, that is one of the senses that I get is I get to talk to owner operators like you on a weekly basis, and one of the things that I hear consistently about it is that, you know, it maintains that kind of small family community feel, and that's got to be appealing not just to the owners and operators, but also to the residents and to the loved ones of residents.
Certainly, I totally agree with you. Each office is individually owned and operated,
right,
and we have the power of a large company behind us, but the individuality of running your own office. And I have, you know, over 120 colleagues around the country that I can consult with and can support and have them support me. So it's a nice model.
Well, gone are the days where you know, a nursing home looks like a box with a whole bunch of dormitory style beds in it. Like maybe it was a little bit more like that when I was, you know, 10 years old. I mean, now it's really it really imitates more life as we know it before maybe we went into a long-term care facility or some sort of a nursing facility, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the assisted living industry is just booming. And there are so many different types of assisted living facilities. Some of them are more like bed and breakfast,
Right.
antique bed and breakfast. Other ones are like deluxe hotels or cruise ships for adults. So there's an assisted living for just about everyone.
Yeah, and I mean, and so this is a kind of a business where if you have kind of an eye for detail, if you care about people, you have kind of a creative mind where you can do things to appeal to a certain type of I don't know, a certain type of lifestyle. You really can have a competitive advantage, and that's what Always Best Cares allows you to do, right?
No question about it. No matter what the issue is, I feel I have the power behind me to solve it. And I'm dealing with a lot of my peers, and their parents are aging. Their parents are, in their 80s, and they don't know what the next step is. And I can sit down with them, and no matter what it is, I can generally come up with a good solution, whether it's in-home care or it's time for mom and dad to move to an easier place to live, like an assisted living.
Well, and so I mean, my sense of it is that as much as operating an actual home, what you really do is you kind of work as a consultant. You kind of communicate between your resources and what the residents desire in order to kind of match up their needs with what you can actually supply, right?
Absolutely, positively, especially when it comes down to searching for the next place for mom and dad to live, mom or dad or both. They may be at the point where they're tired of shoveling their walks, especially up here after last winter, or mowing their lawns, and they want to know what the options are. And generally, when I consult with someone, I break it down into 4 different criteria, and we can usually target 3 different communities by these 4 criteria. And they are, I'm happy to explain each one individually, but it's location, budget, services, and culture of the different assisted living.
Well, and I think that's one of the things that impresses me about Always Best Care is that I think people don't often think about that cultural kind of decision, and it's something that all of the owner operators that we've had on the show have really talked about. You got to kind of match up the way of the lifestyle and the way of thinking for people with the proper facility. Because some facilities just aren't going to be right for some people. Some facilities, if you spend enough time getting to know them, are going to be perfect, and that's kind of your job, really, to match people up like that.
Absolutely. I'll have people ask me, what do you think of this facility? And I'll always say, it's great for the right person.
Sure.
Some communities, it's like you're walking into a library. They're so quiet and meek. Other ones, it's like a wild party. There are some that are small. There are some that are large. There are some that are primarily, people that need extra care, that offer things like dementia care. There are other ones that are almost independent. So it's really up to the individual which community is going to be the best for them, because they're all great in my opinion, but they're all right for perfect for the right person.
Well, the other thing that I get a sense of when I talk to the folks from Always Best Care, and this includes you, is the enthusiasm that I hear in people's voices about what they do for a living, because certainly this is a dollars and cents business. You want to make a profit out of it, but I mean, how cool is it that you get to help folks who probably have been very frightened by these decisions, and you introduce kind of some peace and some peace of mind, and actually I think a great degree of quality of life for them, right?
Absolutely, positively. No one has a goal of moving to an assisted living, with the exception of me, because I know how great they are.
Right.
So I will go into stressful situations within a family and break it down into tiny baby steps, because no one is ready. Parents or grandparents, they're afraid of the old folks' home, and my job is to be an educator and a consultant and a supporter of them, and break it down into tiny steps and make the process as smooth and as stress-free as possiespossible. And it's not easy moving from a home to an assisted living.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when you look at anything that you do in life, I mean, if you have a job, certainly you want to make the most money you possibly can, but you also want to be pretty fulfilled by what it is that you do. I mean, I think a lot of people would accept a little bit less money if they could be a lot more fulfilled by their jobs. But it seems like at Always Best Care, you kind of have the best of both worlds. You get the opportunity to make a nice income, but you also get to have that that fulfillment from helping people.
No question about it. I mean, whenever I tell people what I do, their response is usually, "Oh, how noble, how wonderful, that's great," and I feel like I'm getting paid to volunteer. But the bottom line is, yes, it's fulfilling, it's great, but I can also afford to to pay for my children's education through this. So it's the best of both worlds. I can't picture doing anything else.
It's alwaysbestcare.com, alwaysbestcare.com, 855-47-CARE. That's 855-47-CARE. Hey, this is the Ray Lucia Show. I'm John Bam Ransom, co-hosting for the great man himself. When we come back from the break, he's going to be answering your email questions. You still have a little bit of time to get them in. RayLucia.com. That's RayLucia.com. Hit the Ask Ray link at the top of the page. We'll get to those in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
Don't let the